Okay, so hello again. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how I do my shading. It's a fairly simple process, a bit time consuming, but I like the effect. So, okay, so what we've got here is I've basically taken my brush. I've used one of the narrow ones. And I'm just going to rub it in the charcoal that I have here, and then I'm going to just apply it loosely to the face. Now, just going to have a cheekbone here, and this is basically the second or third layer that I've applied, and you can see I'm not putting a huge amount on, but just enough. Down here is quite dark. It doesn't have to be very precise, because at the end of the day we can erase it back if you need to with a kneadable eraser. But I just want soft texture. It comes up into here. So after a bit, basically all you're doing is just moving charcoal around with the brush, because the brush has got no charcoal powder left in it, and all it's doing is just taking the excess charcoal powder that's on the paper and just moving it around. So you can use a bigger brush. I don't have one with me today. So then tissue, just a soft tissue, doesn't matter what kind. Kleenex, whatever takes your fancy. Okay, so then, not too hard, but just fair, and you can see I'm lifting off here. A fair amount of pressure in the darker areas. And basically all I'm doing is I'm moving the charcoal that I've applied with the brush and blending it into the desired darkness, I suppose that's the way to describe it. So here's a bit there. Here. But as you can see, it's starting to smooth out already. So this is, as I said, my third layer. I could do this 5 or 6 times on a drawing, depending. And in between, I'm lifting off with a kneadable eraser, or I'm using, I'm using this to highlight areas. So there's a bit around here, around her eye, where it's quite white, and up here we've got a lighter area as well. So I'm going to take out some of the charcoal. It's a straight line. And once I've used one of those erasers, I just get my brush it off, get the tissue again, and I'll just blend it into it. So it actually lightens, but it doesn't look stark white. In any areas that need a darker finish, then I will take my pencil and apply my line, and I can use the tissue, or I can use a blending stump just to sort of move the charcoal around. So the 3B charcoal generally leaves quite a lot of dust. and that means that you can then use that dust to move it around the page, like so. So the neck's actually going to be lighter than the line of the face. Now, another tip, I suppose, grab a Q-tip, rub it into the charcoal, and this will give you the darkest value without actually using a pencil or using a blending stump. And what you can do is you can just dab charcoal down and grab your tissue and rub it in. You can also use a blending stump, which will also define it out. And if I really want a sort of a darker sort of area, I'll just gently push it in. Here's my tissue. Rub it in. The skin tone and everything is all about layering. It's a repeatable process. Go over it a bit, lighten a bit, go over it a bit more, lighten a bit more. And you know, I'm continually working on this, even though each time I generally focus on an area, so hair or face or eyes, and you'll notice I do one eye at a time. It's just the way I do it. But the skin is always being built up, generally each session as well. So I'll work on this for an hour and a half, and then when I start getting tired, or if I start getting impatient, or if I start getting frustrated, I'll then put it down and pick up another drawing. There you go. That's sort of how I do my shading.